I'm Dawna Hetzler.
And I'm Sally Smith.
We, just like you, are bravely walking through the dark valleys of life in hopes of scaling joyful summits.
We believe that safe and trusted women are a force to be reckoned with. When we climb together, we can reach the mountaintop.
Many of our challenges come from feeling as if we are stuck while trying to ascend, hiding in crevices, waiting for storms to pass.
Might we suggest that you have a more proactive role in reaching the peaks of your own life?
Let's laugh at the untruths we were taught, from the common religious myths to the lies we believe about our situations and about ourselves.
It is our hope that our time together brings you solace from life's daily drudgery and a bit of lighthearted laughter.
This is a safe place where you are welcome, right where you are, even in your questions and doubts. So rise up, sister. It's time to conquer together.
And we certainly hope you'll say,
"Now that's funny."
Welcome to another episode of That's Funny. Now here's your host, Dawna Hetzler and Sally Smith.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of That's Funny. You know, we're almost back in studio, and I'm so excited. I just cannot wait. It's been fun doing Zoom, something a little different, but I cannot wait to get back in studio.
It's always good to be next to you, and we have so much fun together. So it just feels like, even though we're having fun together, it's kind of separate. And so I can't wait to see you. It's been a long time.
I know, I cannot wait.
Yes, me too.
Well, I am excited though with the format that we've had and the three guests that we've had over the past few weeks. And we really hope that you've loved them as much as we've loved them. So this episode, we're going to kind of recap and review the topic that everything happens for a reason.
Now that's funny. It's funny you're synchronizing that, isn't it?
I know, it's hard. That's funny.
Funny. We should do it in slow-mo.
I know.
Well, I'm glad to be back with each of you. And we have had, as you know, Sally, a lot of direct messages and some emails saying, hey, when are you going to do the next Q&A? And so that is coming up. And you can get us the same way as you have been. So just direct message us, or you can email to that'sfunnytalkshow@gmail.com. Send in your questions. Next episode, we are going to read through every question and we are going to address as many as we can. So send, so we can answer those questions and spend some time and thought with you.
Yes.
And it's been good. So those guests that we had, I just want to start with Shane, your beautiful son, your handsome son, right? I mean, he's beautiful in spirit, but beautiful, handsome son. And it was such a pleasure to hear his side of the story, of how he perceives his life and how everything happened for many reasons as they, transform. So, just appreciating life more because he recognizes that his lifespan could have been so short. And so he appreciates life. It was just one of the many reasons, being able to, have this that he lives with as a child and then still get into drumming and have that outlet and become this very well-known drummer that he's drummed for us in our conferences, our women's conferences. And not that specific condition led to drumming, but it did give him a perspective or an outlet to play and to play passionately. And then even transforming into meeting his wife, Brittany, how that kind of came about. And so there were so many pulls from all of it that we see God working those pieces together, and how impactful it is when we open up our mind to say, okay, we serve a God that doesn't just make one reason happen for something. We serve a God that can use so many things, and we limit him and put him in a box. And so God is just amazing how he takes all these different things and weaves them together to make many reasons why they happen. So it was really fun to have Shane on the show and to get that perspective from him. Was it hard for you to hear his testimony, or
You
would you?
know, it was a little, only because um you know, I know also, because we walk by such faith and with his story, you know, I know as his parent, there are times where I feel like maybe it was a big burden for him, like because as his mama, I'm like, you're a miracle. You know,
Right.
you're a testimony. You have a purpose. You need to be serving Jesus. And that's a big something big to carry on his shoulders. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
And he carries it well. So,
Yeah. But what I've seen from Shane, and I can see it from that vantage point sitting in your seat, but I think Shane's always had that because of the experience. You have just reinforced it. It's not like you put a weight on his shoulders and he had to like do it for you. I mean, he naturally does stuff. Just, I mean, I can think of so many things, but just one of the things of serving Jesus. And when we did our first conference, and he spent his own college tuition to buy, like the sound system and stuff because we didn't have it, the venue didn't have it.
right,
Like, that is showing Jesus. And it's not you saying, "Hey, can you go buy this? You're running the whole worship band, right? And the audio and all that stuff." I mean, he did it on his own. So I just see that you've paved that road for him, if you will, and then
right,
he ran with it. Like he has a choice to decide. He could have said, "I'm not serving Jesus, and this healing thing is miracle thing is I don't agree with that," right?
right, right.
And so he ran with it because he knows in his spirit, that he is a miracle. And so
Right.
having him on the show has been really good. So
It
yeah.
really has. And I know he can't wait to get back behind the scenes.
Next, you're gonna say, "Can I go behind the scenes too and do
Yes,
the?"
can
I'll
I
be
be
like,
behind the scenes too?
"No, let me pray on it." No.
I know. Oh gosh, when she says that, it's I know.
No. Tell me what you liked about Chris's or Christina.
Oh
Uh,
my gosh. Oh my goodness, Christina, what a story she had. What a sweetheart.
yeah.
Her story really was just a story of hope,
Mm.
waiting on, the transplant. And it was just such a good story. I mean, she is someone I kind of look up to because she just, like, to me, didn't seem to waver, you know?
Right. She was so steadfast in her faith.
Right.
Yes, she was so like, this is how it's going to happen. And God's got the kidney and he's preparing the table. And I'm like, wow.
Right. I know. And I like that she talked about like everything happened for many reasons. You
Yes,
know, the table was prepared for her in the presence of her enemy.
right.
While she was waiting, she had so many things that came up and so many things she saw that were prepared for her, like
Yeah.
moving from the East Coast to Florida, learning to wait and trust on God, even talking about the dream that she had and just really listening to that dream and going with it. And then I really liked also how in that she learned that she needed to reconcile with her mother-in-law.
Mm.
So, and being open to that because, sometimes if we're hurt or if there's something that we're not willing to receive, being open to that and learning, really what are the reasons that this is happening, and I really think that that was one of them as well.
Yes. And kind of to flip it around too, one of the things she's always said was it happened, their timeline happened really fast.
Right,
And so, you might be out there and you might be waiting for a transplant yourself, whoever you are, what type of transplant it is. And, sometimes God moves pretty quick because that person that is receiving that is ready. And sometimes he takes longer. And so I wanted our viewers to get a different spin on it a little because, I got to thinking about her testimony, which is so beautiful, and it just came together.
Right.
And, sitting on the other side, thinking about somebody who might need a transplant. I know somebody else in Florida, and they're like struggling and waiting. And so how do you answer that? But I think there are many reasons working around that situation too. So I just wanted to speak to the audience about, if it's not happening quick enough, and it doesn't even have to be a transplant, right? It could be
Right. Just
anything you're
anything.
waiting on, that God is working it out for many, many reasons in his perfect timing. And so, yeah, we have to kind of wait on that too if it's not going according to our time schedule. So,
I think that's so true. I mean, like, we have to remember that it's really not our timing, even though I'm the type of person, it's like, come on, let's go.
right. Let's go. I got this figured out.
Yeah, everything's down to every minute.
Yes, until God's like, okay, that's got to go. That minute's not going to happen,
Right,
right?
right.
Oh. And then we had Miss Annetta Daywald, who
Oh,
would, she had such a story, and I know we were both tearing up just because of the darkness of the depression that she struggles with, and just how she has combated that and how she's gotten through that. And the best takeaway, and I know I said it last episode, but I've been using this in my life just to tweak something, even if you're just having a really stressful day, a down day. It doesn't even have to be depression. You're feeling overloaded, anxious, whatever life is throwing at you, just to take that tweak and to say, you know what, I'm going to just take 2 minutes and go play with my dog, or I'm going to light a candle. I'm going to get up because I'm feeling like I'm in such a funk. I'm going to get out of the bed, take the covers off, and just take a shower or a bubble bath, right? It's just doing those small little things that can make big impact in how you're feeling. So that was very impactful for me. Did you have anything or any takeaways?
I think with her, one of the biggest takeaways that reminded me of one of our dear friends was find that support person, like she had her person that brought her to Jesus, essentially.
Right. That
You
was
know,
Dee Dee. And
yep,
just like it was your Carol,
yep,
right?
it was my Carol, it was her Dee Dee. I
Yeah.
think those people are so important in your lives, and but you have to be open to that,
Yeah.
So,
No, that was really good. So
yeah.
I'm glad that we've gotten good feedback on our guests because, when we first started this, we thought we would just dispel these myths. And then, God just kind of opened the way to have a few guests on. So that was fun. And please let us know how that format went and what you liked or disliked about it. It'd be very interesting to know. I do want to jump in for a minute before we wrap up about what you learned through this, everything happens for a reason topic, and see what your take is.
So for me, I think the biggest thing, I was always the person who said, well, everything happens for a reason, you know what I mean? But as we started breaking this apart and through other people and, us two breaking it apart, there are many reasons. That is
Yeah.
the biggest thing for me that I have taken away from this is there is not just one reason. And I've kind of used it with some family members right now because we recently went through, a loss in our family. And
Yes.
you know, well, what is the reason? What is the reason? Well, there are many reasons. And the old me would have never said that,
Right.
And the
Yes.
old me, I don't even think would have been receptive to that.
Um,
It's just there are many reasons. There is not just one.
right. And we may not see some of those reasons until we are heaven bound. We
Right.
might see that on the reel of our lives and go, oh, that was another reason. There's so many. For me, it was, I really discovered how much I limit God.
Oh,
Because when you say a reason, you want like I'm pointing at my wristwatch, right? Even though I don't wear one, I used to, but it's kind of like, God, what? I need that reason. Why this timing? Why this? Give me the reason and I'll be okay. And I think we all want a reason that we can hold on to it or an answer to a why. Why did this happen? And if we can grasp onto one thing, we'll be okay. But what I've found is the whys aren't satisfying. You can get the answer to a why, like I lost my child. Well, what's
Right.
the why, right?
Right.
And then you get the why, and it's not satisfying because the child's still gone, or the relationship's still gone, or you've lost yourself, or whatever it is. You get the why and you grasp onto it to try and be okay, but then the why is not satisfying. So when we expand our idea of God and go, you know what? He is so limitless that he could make a billion reasons for one thing happening. And you're like, woo, you know, it's so it's so humbling to know that he is in charge and that
Right.
he is working with our choices, if you will, and he is walking this with us and using it all for like a higher good. And so when you look at it, not just say that, but you start really thinking of all the reasons it could be and all the reasons you have no idea of. It's like, wow, I really limit God. So that's what I found in this series is I just limit God. Give me one reason, tell me why, and I'll keep going and I'll have a little hope. And that is such a small viewpoint of faith.
Right.
So
I love that. I love that.
stretching my faith. And that's what we were, that's
That's
why we're doing this show is to stretch
right. R-
you and me, and whoever comes along on the journey is awesome. We're happy to have you. But we first started this for you and me. It's like we've got to grow our ideas and our belief systems and make it stronger and get even more rooted in faith. And I think that's what this show is doing. So
I
it's
love
been
that.
it's been fun and hard, I guess I should say. It's just like my word for the year. I'm like, if I was wiser, I should have picked an easier word. Because things are not unfolding the way I'd like this year,
But they're unfolding.
but they're unfolding. So, hey. All right. Well, like we said, please subscribe, send us messages. That's funny talk show at gmail.com. Send us a personal email. We would love to hear from you. Next week, we will be doing Q&A. So please send us some questions so we have something to talk about. Otherwise, Sally and I are just going to make stuff up. No.
Already had some questions, so we're good.
Oh, we got some. Okay, good. I'm surprised you knew that with your long busy week. All right. We have some that are in. Bring us some more and we'll see how many we can fit in. So, in the meantime, thank you again for joining us on this journey. Thank you for helping Sally and I grow spiritually, getting more rooted in faith. And thank you for helping us dispel the myth that everything happens for a reason. Now, that
That's funny.
yeah.
From the heavens high above, I feel the touch of his laughter and love. In every moment, tear and smile, God's humor is heard, every step, every mile. Keep walking, dear sister, you've got this.